Hey everyone, this is Jill Hope with Unleash Your Inner Wealth, and I have a topic today that I am super passionate about. I've wanted to talk about it for a while. I'm not going to go into a lot of detail on it today, but I am going to give you something that can make an unbelievable difference in your entire life, not just related to money, but everything that you're doing in your life, which is why I'm so excited about this. So, what is this topic that I am so passionate about? It is the topic of freedom. Freedom. So, when you ask someone, why do you want more money? Because most people would say, I want to have more money. Who wouldn't raise their hand for that, right? So, most people want more money, but when you dig into why do they want more money? What you tend to find out more often than not is that it gives them some level of freedom that they don't feel they have today. So, what do I mean? Well, freedom to make different choices. You have different choices available to you when you have money, right? You're not limited by, oh, I can't afford that, or we can't go there because that costs too much. You have more choices. So having more money gives you that freedom. The problem is that if we go after money, for example, because we want more freedom to do what we want to do and live our lives the way we want to live it, we're actually approaching money and freedom backwards, because money doesn't buy you freedom. It might feel like it does, but that's not where it comes from. It allows you to have freedom of choice, but that freedom doesn't come because of the money or from the money. So let me explain. I looked at my top values out of, there were hundreds of values on this analysis, this test that I did. And I was really shocked to find out that my number one priority, my number one value in life is freedom. I would not have guessed that in a million years. And ever since then, I have started to see the truth in that. And I think for a lot of people, and you might be one of them, if you actually took a test like that, you would probably discover the same thing, and it might surprise you. But freedom is, it's in the fabric of our country, right? I mean, if you're going to look, if you're in the United States, and I mean, that's what our country was founded upon. I mean, freedom is in the cultural consciousness. So freedom is something that people desire. And a lot of people right now are getting triggered by, kind of feeling like we don't have freedom right now, or some of our freedoms are not available to us right now, right? So what I want to share with you, in order for you to get in touch with your true freedom without having to have money to create it, is really going to set you free in all areas of your life, not just related to money. This is my purpose. This is my passion, is to help people to discover this place inside of themselves and to truly let it out, unleash it, right? Unleash your inner wealth. That's what we're talking about. So when I was a kid, I remembered hearing that we only use about this tiny little percent of our brain power. I don't remember what the percentage is now, but it was something like, I don't know, it was like 10% or 12%, a tiny percent, relatively speaking, of our brain power. And that always, I was just kind of taken aback by that. I thought that was really amazing. And I remember I used to think, well, I wonder how, I wonder why that is. And I wonder how we could use more of our brains to actually help us. And you're probably thinking, what does this have to do with freedom, Jill? Well, what I want you to take away from this video today is that you are a sovereign being. We all are. We are all sovereign beings. What does that mean? That means that we individually have power. We possess our own power. Now, coming back to what I said about the brain, I think the reason why so many people don't feel like they have any power and walk around living life as if they're victims is that they don't know how to access their power. And I think it might be somehow related to how we think. We're thinking with a very small part of our brain. This is just all, I don't know if this is true. Intuitively, this is what I'm sort of coming to. So you are a sovereign being. And what that means is you have access to immense power, immense brain power that you're not tapping into, and immense soul power and spiritual power that you're probably not even touching today. And it is in that power that you can access the freedom that you want. When you go after money because you think it is going to buy you the freedom to do what I want and go where I want and all of that stuff, as I said earlier, you're looking at it backwards. So you can chase money, you can choose jobs that will give you more money. You can do all of that, and that can bring you money. But there's always a cost in doing that. There's the cost of burnout. There's the cost of arriving and then realizing this, I'm miserable. I've missed my life, or I've missed out on my kids growing up, or, I've worked myself to the bone. But that's one way to do it, right? But I'm suggesting there's a better, easier way for you to do this. And that is, instead of using money to give you that freedom that you want, how about if you just claim your freedom? How about if you do that? How about if you use the power that was gifted to you? When we were born, every single person born upon this earth was given free will. We have choice. We have free will to choose what we want to choose. Now, I know people have been suppressed and oppressed and pushed down and told what to think and what to believe and made to live in rules. But at the end of the day, you still have that free will. You still are a sovereign being, and you do have that power. Okay? So rather than using the money to give you the freedom, you have the freedom. You just have to claim your sovereignty. Claim your freedom. Make the decision first, and then the money shows up. So what does this look like in a person's day-to-day real life? Well, for example, in our chosen field of work, okay, so many people are miserable in their jobs. So many people are literally just, it's a means to an end. They're not passionate about it. They don't love what they do. I don't need to retire. I love what I do. It's me. It's who I am. I don't know what I would do with myself if I wasn't able to create in this way. I'm so passionate about it. I love helping people in this way. This is what I feel I was born to do. So when I claimed my freedom, I claimed my power in this area. I left a corporate job, a well-paying corporate job, to do what I'm doing. Was it a risk? Absolutely, because I didn't know what I was doing. I didn't know how to start a business, but I did it. I claimed my power. And the money, as I started to shift beliefs, I'm going to talk about that in a minute, the money started to show up. Okay? That is doing it the way that we were meant to. Meaning that you have a desire. It's a heart and soul desire, and it's not a surfacey, got to keep up with the Joneses desire. It's this feels good. This feels right. This is what I want. This is what I want to do. This is who I want to be, right? So we feel that desire. That's coming from spirit. It's coming from God. And if you say yes to that, which is what we were supposed to do, right? That was supposed to light us up so we would say yes, then the money just flows in because that's who you are. You are a free person. So you have, therefore, freedom because you've decided that's who you are. That's what it looks like to claim that freedom. Another area in our lives where we don't claim our freedom, and we actually could, is coming back to money, we allow money to dictate our choices. So we have this desire, again, it's this spiritual, soul lit desire from God that, I want to go on this trip, or I want to do this thing, or have this beautiful thing in my life. And then we go look at our bank account and we don't have the money, and we say, oh, I guess I can't get that. Or we go into debt trying to get it. I played that game for many years. It doesn't work. So if that's another form of bondage, debt. So you feel it, and then you say, yes, I will have that. I will go on that trip. I will purchase that, whatever that thing is that lights you up. Again, you want to know the difference between a desire that is ego-based versus a desire that is truly soul-based, okay? Once you start to say yes, you start to discern the difference, okay? But the true soul-based yeses that you step into come with the way. They come with the way to create the money. And the way is not typically isn't debt, unless there is some learning you need to do. And maybe that's the path to create the learning to allow you to create the money, right? But generally, you are feeling it, saying yes to it, and then looking for the opportunities that will allow you to create the money for that. When you live the other way around, where you say, I want this thing, I feel it, it's me, this is part of my expression. And then you look at the bank account and you say, oh, I can't do it. And so you say no to the opportunity, the thing that you desire. That's when you're not free. That's when you live in bondage. And, this is how we were conditioned to live. And it's not our parents' fault or their parents' fault or anything like that. This is centuries of people in power, but the relatively few who want to control the masses. But it's not truth. So you can choose truth. They said the truth will set you free, and that is true. That thought is true. That belief, that statement is true. So, one of my mentors taught me that if you are believing something and it does not set you free, it can't be the truth. So as you kind of have to retune yourself to find your freedom, use your sovereign power to claim your freedom. As you tune back into that, rather than using outside circumstances to dictate your freedom, and instead you choose it and you move forward. As you do that process, what you probably will notice is you will bump up against some resistance in the form of beliefs that you've been taught and conditioned to believe. And that is where your work is, okay? That's where you do the work to move through that, to shift the beliefs so that the money does show up. That's why when I first started my business, I did the first leap. I said yes. I left the corporate job and I was working in my business, but I was not bringing in the money. I was not bringing in the money. And what I discovered was I had a lot of beliefs that were inconsistent with the actions I had taken. So it's been a process I've had my business for 12 years now. It's been a process to unravel and undo those beliefs, but it is possible, and it doesn't have to take 12 years. It can be, when I work with people now, literally, like, I would say 6 months to a year, most of the big boulders are out of the way. Those big beliefs that are really blocking the path typically get shed. So anyways, to wrap this up, I know I've kind of been going on, but to wrap this up, my message today is, if you want the freedom, if freedom is really why you're looking for money, and that's a question only you can answer, but if you want to grow your money because deep down inside you want the freedom to choose to live the life you want to live, which is extremely valid, then rather than focusing on the outer actions of creating money, you want to center yourself back in the truth that you are a sovereign being. You get to make the decision to claim your freedom now, to do all those things and have those things in your life. You step into it by saying, I will do this. I am committing to myself. This will happen. I'm creating this life. And then you look for the opportunities to help you get there. The money will show up. It's usually not that you get a check in the mail out of the blue, but that can sometimes happen. But typically, you're given opportunities to create that money. At least that's how it typically shows up for me. Although I have literally had, when I've said yes to a certain desire, I've literally had people contact me that I wasn't aware of, and pay me a lot of money to coach them out of the blue. I wasn't advertising anything. I wasn't promoting anything. I also have gotten checks that I was not expecting that just came in. Weird, crazy stuff happens when you start saying yes. So discover what it is you really want. Is it the freedom? Is it a certain thing that you need money for? Decide what that is. Claim it now, because you have that power, and start looking for the opportunities that you can step into so you continue to say yes. And then when you have those sticking points along the way, that's where the limiting beliefs are. You need to unravel them, and you need to create new beliefs that support the direction you're going in. That's where people can get stuck, and that's actually one of my specialties. I love helping people with that. It is so, it's just so gratifying to me when I see someone be able to move through that quickly and get to where they want to go. So if that's you and you need help with that part, or even the part about figuring out what you want, I can help you with that. And I actually have something that you might want to check out. It's completely free right now. It's a money mindset clarity call. So if you want to talk through this stuff with me, if you want to, let me know where you're at and get some recommendations from me on how to move forward, down in the link down below in the description, there's a link that you can sign up for your free call. Okay. I also have another gift for you. I have an audio. If you haven't picked it up yet, go ahead and check that out. It's 7 inner shifts that will increase your wealth in 2020. And I actually created that audio before the whole COVID thing hit, but because these are inner shifts, it's all completely valid, and it will make a difference for you. So go and check that. It's I've gotten great feedback from it. It's about 30 minutes, so it's not a huge commitment of your time. And I guarantee if you start to follow some of those shifts, that will help you to be in that place where you can say yes to your desires, and you can exercise your freedom now from within yourself. Okay, so I hope this has been helpful. If you liked this video, would you please share it and subscribe and click the notification bell so you hear when I put out my next video, which will be coming very soon. Also, if you like the video, give me a thumbs up, leave me a comment. I really do appreciate any feedback that I get. So until next time, take care, stay well, and I will be back with you again real soon. Bye for now.